our webinar, The Ultimate Connection with God. We're continuing our webinar specifically explaining the Jewish meditation and intuition. I'm very excited. We have a very exciting part 2 class here. So we are actually on our 8th lesson, and we will be discussing receiving spiritual information. It's very, very exciting. So those who are joining us for the first time, my name is Rabbi Yosef Chaim Mimran. I will be your host. And you can get more information on our website or on our YouTube channel, Yeshivat Achem. So we'll be summarizing what we learned yesterday, fundamental rules on how to receive information that everybody should know. And in this class, I've summarized them in a short form. So these are the 16 rules that we need to follow in order to be able to receive information. Very simple, not easy. Okay, we're dealing with a human innate condition of ours to our mind, allowing our minds to flutter. But we're going to try to focus our attention, and these are ways how we can be successful on receiving information and expressing it. So here we go. Number 1, you have to prepare yourself by firstly entering a med state. So you don't want to go into deep meditation. That's not the goal here. We want full awareness. Full awareness. Number 2, don't try. Don't try. Just let the experience happen. Because a lot of people are making a mistake, as we explained last time, is that they are letting ideas and information wander in their minds, and they start adding and changing the information as opposed to, number 3, feel it and express it. Number 2 leads into number 3. You got to feel the information, not color it, and then express it straight away. Or write it if you're just by yourself and you want to write on a piece of paper. Excuse me. The next, number 4, don't try to understand it. A lot of people try to, crush their brains, and you see the cogwheels working so hard, and they're trying to squeeze information because they don't understand what they're saying. Just give it over. Number 5, just give it as it is. Because again, number 4 and number 5 are very similar, because a lot of times in my experience, you're giving information you don't understand. That's the most powerful information. Because otherwise, if you do understand, you start adding connotations to it and you start coloring the information. Information, like a random piece of information that you just go over, that's pure information. That's very powerful. Number 6, don't doubt the information. Like I said, give it and express it. It's counterintuitive, but just do it. It works. Keep positive. Number 7, keep your energy high. That's how the opening happens. Number 8, if you get a no, don't throw it away. Reinterpret. Because if you received it, that means it happens, unless you're not following these steps. But if you are following these steps, whatever you receive is emet. It's true. And therefore, trust the information. And even if you get a no, it's probably because you misinterpret it. So go back to that information and give it over again. Number 9, no one gets everything right all the time. Even the biggest rabbis, the biggest professional psychics, medium, whatever you want to call them, gifted people, sensitive people, empaths. It's impossible. We're human, and we're going to color information. And therefore, if you get 80% right, 75% right, doing very, very well. Okay. Number 10, focus on the information, not on the recipient. Because a lot of times we try to make the recipients happy by giving them what they want to hear, because we're there to please them, especially if you're getting paid. If somebody's coming to pay you for a particular information, so you try to please the recipient, but it doesn't work that way. Because it has to be a natural connection between you and the higher spheres, you and the higher spiritual world. And when you do that, that's when the magic happens. But when you're focusing on the body language of the person, or you are intent on their expressions and counting on the expression, that's when you are going to go in left field. Number 11, patience with yourself and find your unique gifts. Now, I can give you these instructions, but you might find that you are more apt at seeing as opposed to hearing or smelling or touching or whatever your gift is. These are just general guidelines that work, but you might find that other things work for you, but that's totally fine. Number 12, use stress as your barometer for success. That means if you feel yourself sweating, if you feel yourself getting stressed out by by the process of trying information, you know you're off. You're not going to receive anything authentic. So look into yourself, and if you're struggling with the information that you're receiving, and getting stressed out about, you know that you're just making it up. That's your barometer. But if you feel that things are just flowing and you're enjoying it, and that information is coming to you without any stress, you know you're getting it right. You know it's authentic. 13, the key to receiving more is to blend with the source. So you're flowing, information's coming, and then you're drying up. It happens and you dry up. So what else am I going to say? You got to blend more. You got to go higher. You got to meditate a little bit deeper, and that's where the true information comes out. Number 14, taking control of the flow or fishing for information takes away from the connection. So a lot of us have this just a natural tendency to want more, to expect more, and start fishing and start grabbing at information from midair. That's when things start breaking down. That's when the process is no longer flowing. So you don't want to go for the fishing. You want to just allow the information to connect with you. Okay? It's an allowance, surrendering to the information. Number 15. Don't discard any information, no matter how ridiculous it seems to you. Like we spoke about this earlier, a random piece of information is probably the strongest piece of information that you'll get. You get a random picture of somebody riding a camel in the desert. You might think like, oh, that's ridiculous. The person's in New York City. Well, what am I getting about a person? And then my person might tell you, yeah, I was actually there in Morocco, and we took a trip and we were riding camels in the desert. You never know. So don't laugh it down. Give it as it is. And the most important part is have fun, guys. We want to keep the energy high, the frequency high, the vibration high. We want to connect to Hashem. We want to have that joy, and that's the opening. If the joy is not there, if the excitement's not there, it's not going to happen. Okay, so those are 16 very simple steps that you have to work on. Now, let's start with a 5-minute light meditation of inner awareness. Now, the truth is, this is a second recording for us. The first recording didn't actually happen. So we're not doing this with a live audience. We're actually just recording this just for posterity, just to get this class up online. So I'm just going to read over the steps, but we're not actually going to exercise. But you can exercise as you're listening to that. That's no problem when you're listening to this recording. So that's why this class is going to be a bit shorter than our usual 1-hour classes. So the first thing you want to do is create an inner calm inside yourself. Get into that feeling and sensing mode. Be aware of being aware. Surrender. And that's a magic word. Surrender to what is, and then surrender more. Because that's the opening. Be open to receiving information in a very subtle way. Don't expect information to come like a bombshell, but rather it's very, very subtle. That's why you need the quietude of meditation to get you there. Remember that no effort is required at all. If you find yourself stressing out, forcing information, fishing for information, it's not going to happen. It has to come to you. Just allow the connection to happen by itself. Okay? So we're not looking for something to hear or to see, but rather it's just being passive and positive. Being in that receptive mode, full attentiveness is needed, but make sure you don't fall asleep. Okay? Very important. We're talking about full attentiveness. We're not talking about meditating for 4 hours beforehand and putting yourself in a theta, in a gamma state where you're totally asleep, but rather it's the opposite, full awareness. And then, most importantly, trust. We don't, and this is a big one, right? We don't trust ourselves. We think we're making it up. We think that it's coming from our subconscious. It's coming from something we saw in the previous day. No. If you're doing this correctly, trust it, receive it, and give it over. Okay. So we did an exercise last week about intuitively targeting images that I had on my computer. Today, what we did is that we practiced 2 more targets. So we're not going to do that now, but you can do it with a friend. And the experience, the exercise exactly as we did last week. So take a screenshot of this picture of all the words, descriptive words, or just words to help. You can make up your own words. So we're looking at the textures, the colors, the smells. We're looking to sense the taste, the temperatures, the sounds. We're looking to feel into the dimensions and aesthetics of the thing, person, or experience that is being projected by the target, which is the image on somebody's computer or on somebody's, it could be a piece of paper or a photo. Okay. Do 2 exercises like that. So in total, from last week and this week, you'll have 3 experiences. So in the last final note, I just want to say that there are specific areas in your brain that need to be accessed to become like an antenna, to receive spiritual information. Imagine your mind as a radio. Through constant practice, it strengthens those areas. It is like any muscle in the body. Therefore, the more you practice, the better you will become at this. So this is important. So practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. So you want to go to the gym and exercise your muscles? Well, you got a muscle in your skull called the brain. Your brain is the antenna for this. You're going to have to exercise this by practicing these specific exercises that I'll be giving you this week and last week and the following weeks. Next week we'll be learning about what the Gemara calls abubot. Okay, ababot, whichever way you want to pronounce it, which is an Aramaic term for auras and its colors. That's going to be very, very exciting for next week. We'll break into partners and practice reading one another. Okay, so homework, practice again, practice meditating just for a few minutes. We don't want these long, extended meditations like we did today. A very quick meditation in order to just get you into that space where you can become the watcher of your thoughts, of your emotions. Be intensely aware of your inner body as often as possible, and practice the exercises in this week's lessons and last week's. Okay, and that's going to get you a lot of success. So we made this much shorter. This is just a revision of what we actually did in the webinar. But I thought, just for posterity's sake, we would post this up on YouTube to make the whole lesson properly. So thank you for joining us again. And again, all the videos on our YouTube channel, not on our website, and that will be posted later on this year. So on the YouTube channel, Yeshivat Achen, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.